everyone? Hey, and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. We are doing catch-up episodes, which I really enjoy doing. You know, we do the Battle Rap Resumes, but I'm trying not to repeat myself on the line at the moment. Like, I can have guests on in 2-on-2s and stuff, but, you know, we've already done a Crafty episode, which was the second episode of the show. Almost 2 years to the day. That was the 16th of February 2016, recording this on the 8th of February 2018. I mean, Craft, battle rappers, it's been turned upside down, right, in those years?
Yeah, it's sort of bad and good, and strange and not so strange at the same time. It's in a situation where something's died and yet all these things are blossoming out of it. Yeah. So it's hard to really explain that, but like, who knows where it's gonna go? You know, anything can happen at this point. So it's exciting.
Well, I mean, anyway, man, it's great to have you on the show yet again, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's great to be back, and I think we've got a lot to catch up on, really, to get through. I think I've done a lot more since the first one, and I felt I'd done a lot at that point. But nah, it's been a interesting couple of years, really.
Okay. Well, just before we get us up to date, I want to do a quick little thing where we'll go through each of the battles we spoke about earlier. If you just sum them up in one sentence, if you can just maybe think of a few of those, because pretty much up to Heretic is where we're going to get, which we've discussed a fuck lot. If there was some sort of graph to the battles that have been discussed most in this podcast, Crafty versus Heretic is definitely up there.
Wow.
One of the more contentious ones that I've thrown out there just to anger people. But just before we do, please follow us at Battle Resume. Get in touch with the show as well, battleresume@gmail.com. If you want to come on the show, you want to be a guest, you want to do a top 10 of innuendo rounds, whatever, you know, let me know. We'll see what we can work out. iTunes, leave us a review if possible. Patreon, and just check out all the episodes that you know, I've done with Craft and everyone else. Obviously, I've had Craft on for Mastermind, and It Came From Verse Tracker. I think we've done loads of previews for events. So, you know, it is nice to be transitioning back to the battles, and we'll start off quickly with the Ambi battle. Just to recap, like, I recall this one as being, I haven't watched this for a few years now, but strong debut, man. I think you had a lot of strong lines.
Yeah, it went really well, man. And you know, I remember when the forums were about at the time, the Viewpoint forum and all that, a lot of people were, I just remember there being a lot of talk about it and comments and people saying it was one of the best tryouts there's been on Don't Flop, because, again, Ambi was really strong in that. And I felt that as a 2-rounder, it was close, you know? So, and he was brilliant in that. So, yeah, it was a good battle.
Liv Winter performance. Some people would say this is your best performance.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my best performance, but when it's like a massive body bag, it makes it look like a lot more convincing. Probably, I had a couple stumbles and moments in it, and maybe a couple questionable lines. So,
you versus Press, which I was there to see, actually. It was my first time seeing you. I just bodied Turner in a very forgettable tryout, but I love this battle. I remember the Jamie Carragher sequence. I think in your first is really impressive, and this is a good showing from you. I think I remember you saying on the show that you didn't necessarily think it was that good of a battle, or
I can't remember what the fuck I said. Now it's 2 years ago, wasn't it? But it was a good battle, and Press is great, and I think he had a bit of a choke in his third round, which probably gave me the battle more clearly than it would have been. It would have been a lot closer, but and Press is great. You know, he's gone on to become the champ now, so he's levels, mate. So it's good to have battled him. You know, on Don't Flop.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're revisiting a Press 1 battle. You know, as our last battle, I suppose, the most recent one that's been uploaded. Got uploaded 2018. But we'll get into that. I'm sure after a few things we got across there. You versus Jay Shaw. I remember it was the first thing I watched when I bought the pay-per-view to Sunburn 2. I was so excited to see you go against Jay Shaw, man. It was very cool. After 4 battles, you were getting a very established name.
Yeah, I think at that point I was on the right track, man. I was really, the step-ups each time were quite convincing step-ups in caliber of opponent.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember thinking, I've not watched that battle in a while, but I remember thinking I beat him quite convincingly. And a lot of people saying that as well. I think there was like one judge against me, but that was like the first time I'd had a judge vote against me. But like, I think I beat him quite strongly in that. And yeah, it was good because the crowd was bigger than what I'd done before as well. It was a full house, not like quite full, but very, very full.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody hell, what's the one called? Brixton Jam.
Brixton Jam, yeah.
Yeah, and that was really quite much. And just that might be my favourite Don't Flop event I was at live. The whole weekend was great. It was so many good battles. So
yeah.
That was good atmosphere. That was fun, man. And yeah, shout out Jay every time because he's amazing as well. That's my boy.
Conquer B, you took this between this and the Heretic battle, which was kind of the defining battle of this era, slightly. To the right track that you were on. Yeah,
I'd say so. I'd say it was the battle I should never have taken. I'd say that one and the next one were the two battles I never should have taken. They weren't the right battles for me to take. Conquer was more the timing. I really think he's brilliant, and that's probably the last time he was actually good or showed up or whatever. Okay. But yeah, again, I remember that being quite short prep and feeling like I did well. And it was the battle I shouldn't have. I had the Heretic one confirmed already, and I thought, well, I'll take this battle, and I should have been prepping more for the other one. Right. So I always feel like that's the battle I shouldn't have taken. That's the if I had a manager or an agent or that kind of thing,
I feel the same way about Briggsy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a really cool battle. He had some great lines. Some of the best stuff that's been said to me was Conquest, and I really liked some of the stuff I did in that. So, no, it was a good battle, man.
And you've had 2 years to ruminate on it. What are your closing thoughts on you versus Heretic?
I think I could have prepped better. I think I could have perhaps written more for that crowd, more for the casual fan that comes to the birthday weekend. But no, I thought performance wise it wasn't my best, but I think writing wise it was pretty strong, and I probably won. But it's a long time ago, and a lot of shit's happened since then. So
I mean, see previous battle rap resume with Crafty if you want us to go into those battles a bit further. But we'll kick off with these battles were both uploaded in July 2016. They both feature Pedro, so you battled him in this very close period of time.
Yeah, I was kind of not on battling for a while, man. I think I was a bit disappointed with some of the offers I was getting after Heretic. I thought I'd had quite a good year. That was all in 20. That was like 6 battles in the second half of a year, and I thought I'd done well. And yeah, I just wasn't getting the offers that were inspiring me, and I remember being quite focused on my studies and things at the time, and I just wasn't on battling. And then I was living in Bristol, and the JumpOff come up and they say, "Oh, we'd love you to battle at this festival." And I thought, that sounds like fun. I'll get a free ticket to the festival. I'll go, there's Stormzy and Dizzy Rascal, these guys play, and I thought I'll go and do a battle against Pedro, because I love Pedro. He's one of my favorite.
I remember you saying he was your favorite earlier.
I mean, probably at the time he was, when we last recorded the last interview, how active he was at the time. But he's amazing. To battle him, I don't think I remember thinking, this isn't a battle that works on Don't Flop. It isn't really a battle that makes sense. But at a festival, it's in a boxing ring that it was in, and the whole weird atmosphere of it. And a crowd, who are probably on as many substances as Pedro was in the battle. So I thought that would be just, it's a bit of fun. And it was cool. I remember not really writing a third round, and just being quite relaxed about it and going, you know what, it's a jump off. I can go and freestyle a bit. I think I dropped a little grime scheme in the third, but apart from that, I was like, I'm just gonna freestyle. So yeah, it was one of them ones, man, and I'd just written a couple days before and learned them. The funny thing though, I battled Sceptical and Gifted a Gab, as you know, quite a while later. So I was scheduled to battle Sceptical on the same day as Pedro. So I'd been speaking to Snoop for ages, since like before my last Don't Flop battle before that, and we'd wanted to lock in a clash, and he said, we'll battle Sceptical, and then so I battled him. So I was supposed to battle Sceptical in the morning that day, and then battle Pedro in the evening that day. So I'd prepped for 2 battles that day. Like I spent the week writing and prepping for 2 clashes. So I turned up to the Gab event, and it started really late. So I'd messaged Snoop being like, and all the team just being like, look, I've got to be on first because I've got to go get a train to go and battle Pedro. So I'll come and do the battle this day, no problem. But I have to be on first. And we get there, it's running an hour late. And I'm like, look, bro, I've got to go soon. So put me on now and I can battle. He says, right, we're not going to put you on first. We're going to have this battle first as the opener. And I was like, okay. And he puts that battle as the opener. And it went on for 35 minutes, this battle. It wasn't very good. I can't remember who was in it. It was a bit shit.
All right.
But we did, this battle was on. And yeah, I got to the end of the battle and I went to him and I went, mate, like, I've got 20 minutes, so I have to catch this train. That battle lasted 30 minutes. My bars are better than those bars. They're gonna get more reaction. So like, I can't really stay. So I went, and then we battled months later. But then I went to battle Pedro, and I was less prepped for the Pedro one, right? So Yeah, the story behind that is I was supposed to battle twice that day, but I battled once. But yeah, I went to battle Pedro and it was fun and it was cool. And yeah, it was just like Heretic battle press one.
Yeah, yeah. I remember me and Press spoke about that battle. I remember watching that, and
Press is amazing in that, man.
Bodied him, man.
Yeah,
I love Heretic, but it's like
yeah, same. But Press was great. And Jay Short kind of bodied Seano Mac, and I kind of bodied Pedro. So it was like all the battles were a bit one-sided, but it was good fun, and you got to hang out with people, and it was quite cool.
And then battling Pedro again at this Poets Rappers Roundhouse event, right?
Yeah, so this event was a strange one, man. Like,
shout out Shorgy Bear.
Yeah, man.
Shout out Shorgy Bear.
Shorgy, Yaz, I think her name. Yeah. Shout out.
Fahad.
It was a good vibe actually. The whole thing, but I'd kind of got this message 3 weeks before. I was actually sitting in my living room with Harry, and got this message being like, "Yo, do you want to battle?" Shufflo and Marlo. I'm like, "Fuck!" Like Shufflo and Marlo. But I'll get into that one in a minute anyway, because I'm sure we'll discuss it after Pedro. But yeah, then we had that battle, but then maybe 3 days before. No, I want to say 2 days before that clash, I got a call being like, "Pedro's pulled out. Can you battle Pedro?" And I'll be real, I had a few bars that I didn't use for him because you know how it is with a battle, you write more than you need. So I had a few bars in my head. I was like, well, I couldn't spit these to the jump off, but they probably would work to a Don't Flop crowd.
Okay.
So I had like to write one round. I think it was like a 2 minute. No, I think it was a 60-second round actually.
Right.
It was supposed to be 60 seconds. I think we did like 90 seconds. Yeah. Pedro did a little more, but it was cool.
I mean, it's 5 minutes overall, so it's very brief.
Yeah, and so I maybe had 30 seconds of material, so I just had to write a bit more. And yeah, so I just took that battle, and it was sort of BBC, and yeah, I wouldn't have battled on short prep when I had Shufflo and Marlo, but to be honest, it was quite good money for the battles, and I really needed the money at the time. So right. Like, I was like living in a different place, but I had a sort, you know, when you got like you move house, but you're moving out before your tenancy's ended. It was that kind of thing. It's like, I'm paying money for 2 places, but
sure.
If I do these battles, that's just paying for everything I need to pay for. So fucking hell, like, I need to do these battles. It's one of them things where life and the art kind of cross.
Oh yeah.
Which can happen, man. Like you see it with so many battlers who do battles because it was a paycheck at the time, and there's nothing wrong with that really. I think as long as you put the effort in, it's cool. Yeah. So yeah, that Pedro one came about a couple of days before. I was prepping for both frantically. But yeah, I think the Pedro clash was good fun. It was a real style clash. He was really funny. He'd been a bit shit for a while at that point, and he did really well in that, so that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And just before we get onto the Shufflo clash, you battled with J Red, but it wasn't like a battle, was it? It was like a play thing?
Yeah, it was this theatre show in Brighton, which was really cool. It was called, was that Body or something?
I think it was Bodied actually before.
Yeah, I think it's Bodied, the same as the film. Yeah, so I think it was called Bodied, yeah. Really good theatre show. They had like all these outtakes from like interviews with battlers and this narrative, and then part of the narrative was this battle happens in the show, so we get up and we just battle. I ended up forgetting most of my lines and fucking freestyling some of it. So I had some really good bars with J Red, man. I don't think I even got to spit. And I hadn't slept, man. I remember I was in the like little apartment place we were staying in with the battle crew, and I got to this thing at like 3 p.m. and I was like, I need to sleep. I haven't slept in like 24 hours. I need to sleep. So I crashed out till like 6:30 and got up, and it was like the show was in an hour. I was like, fuck. I was just trying to remember my bars, and I kind of knew. They were like, oh, it was really casual though, because they were just like, oh, if you fuck up, like, it's part of the show, so just freestyle, and it will show like what battling's about, what freestyling's about. So I was more relaxed about it. So yeah, it was good fun anyway. Okay. And J Red's like, I think he's really funny. So
yeah.
He had some really funny stuff for me, and it was quite enjoyable.
Interesting. Yeah, it's got 276 views. So
I never shared it.
Yeah,
just because it's not a battle. It's a show. It's a theater. Like it's not. I wasn't taking it like it was a battle. So it shouldn't really be on Verse Tracker anyway.
Yeah, I mean, just as an archive, you know, of your material, battle wise.
I had a few. Like I had it's something about you shouldn't do politics. It's awkward when you want to be deep because Red knows they only listen for comic relief. Like, I had a few bars I really liked in that battle, and just whatever. Against
Shufflo, who, you know, are a maelstrom of talent really in battling. There's nobody like them. There never will be. They're incredible. They're a gift. You know, they're just wonderful duo. Facing them, you and Harry, what a challenge as a first battle.
Wow, yeah, getting that message, like, it's weird because that's one of my dream battles to do. Especially like at the time when me and Harry were really keen to battle, we were always like, let's do a couple battles and then hopefully get Shufflo. Like that was the dream. And then just kind of came round. And I don't want to make my performance was really off that day. I don't want to make too many excuses, but it really came round at the wrong time in my life. It was like the battle I didn't want to say no to. I would never get the opportunity again in my head, but like mental health wise, where I was at in life, I wasn't like leaving my house much at the time.
Right.
It was just one of those phases. I mean, a lot of us have them and go through them. And even writing for that, I mean, I didn't really write much for it. I didn't really try. And it really fucking shows in the battle.
A part-time contract meant for two to pay the rent and getting views, but when one had to get the boot, they kept Marlo because he edits too, so they said goodbye Shuffle and hello you.
They decided that they didn't really like them as a two.
So from now on, Marlo's always getting hired over you.
So when he's on Charlie Sloth getting fire in the booth,
he's at a phone box getting fired in the booth.
That's why the platform this is on could not have gone better, because every sketch they're in features one actor and one extra.
And annoyingly, I don't think it's their best either. I think it's a close battle, and I think like they're not very direct, but they're really good and they're really entertaining. But I think we could have beat them really convincingly. I know that's weird to say because it's Shuffle and Marlo, but just on that day. But it was really fun still. Like me and Harry just sort of we'd written a few bits and sent them to each other, and it was quite good. And then we met up just to do some. I remember he was really busy at the time as well, and I was either fucking doing nothing or traveling to gig or whatever. And it was like it was all a bit mad, but we met up for a whole day and just sat in a pub really and just wrote bars and wrote the whole battle really. And had really good fun with it, like writing with Harry. Like we've written a couple other things together in terms of like the more spoken word side, and it's always really fun and I really enjoy it.
I bet.
But it was really cool just to try and mix and match our styles a bit, and we were having a real laugh writing the bars, man. Like it's really fun to write with someone who you enjoy writing with. So we'd written all these bars, and then we sort of had like a week and a half till the battle at this point. And Harry was away for a whole week. So he went away for a week doing workshops as like a retreat where there's no Wi-Fi. So like we couldn't talk for like a week, which was a bit weird. But by the time he got back, there was like 3 days till the battle. And again, we was really busy those 2 days. Like, well, fuck, let's just start structuring it and then start learning it. And we were doing that, memorizing it. And then it got to the night before, and we'd structured it and we'd start learning it. And the next day we practiced. We got to the venue a bit early and went to one of like the practice rooms, and we were just practicing the bars. And yeah, like it was one of those things where we could do all the bars, but one of us would always fuck up every time. A little bit somewhere, so we was always trying to, if that happens, we'll just do this and like that. But you get onto the stage and it's quite like I'd done the Pedro battle and it went quite well, and the battle was going really well until I forgot a whole entire section of the battle, and I can't remember. I've not watched that battle back, to be honest, but I tried to go back and I didn't, and then so I was just like, well, let's do the next section. So we started the next section, and I just remember the momentum dying a little bit. I think like, and I wasn't the most confident performing at the time. Like, I think you can see in that battle, bro, I'm like, my beard's growing out fully. Like, I'm just a fucking cliche of like, what am I doing with my life? So you can just see it. And I'm just like, in that place where I don't want to be battling at all. I did not want to be on a fucking stage, man. Like, I was happy to be sitting and writing and writing new material, but I didn't want to battle at that time. And it was the same with that J Red battle. They were again, the J Red battle was maybe filmed like a week before. I know they were a few days apart. So I was trying to fucking write these shuffle bars while I was fucking at that event. I'm doing that one. So it was, timing wise for me, it wasn't great. Like, it wasn't
no.
And I think on record as well, I should kind of note that I didn't have to take that battle. Like, money's one thing and everything, but that was me and Harry's first battle together. Like, I should have waited till it was the right time. And, you know, I kind of feel a bit, a bit like I let him down on that one. To be honest, I think he performed really strongly and managed to get it all out and do really well. And again, we got a lot of good reactions. I'm not saying it was a bad performance. Like, I think we were good. Like, in the room, went well. Like, after the battle, where everyone's coming up and going, "Yo, great battle, fucking amazing." And then it drops online, and online it just doesn't translate. It was one of them ones that we had.
It's a friendly spoken word room, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but then even the staff and like all the people, like, and the rappers and the Tony D's and the Quills and all these guys who were there, and
Tony, yeah,
all coming up and going, great battle, so it did feel like it went well. And then I don't think it translated online at all.
No, it gets a lot of hate online, I have to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've read the comments because I think they're quite funny.
They're vicious. I'm not saying that with any relish. Like, it's just kind of, it's unfair how they are. But one of the things I've always wanted to bring up about this battle that I find really interesting, and maybe it's the first time it's ever happened in battling. Certainly, it's the first time it's ever happened in UK battling. You and Harry's angle that they're atheists and he's a cynic. I've never seen that happen in a battle before.
I didn't even think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to talk about the ghostwriting thing. But
that as well. Yeah, that as well.
That's that angle, I quite liked it. I remember we were sitting and I was like, look, Shuffle's like a real cynical guy. Like, this could be funny. Like, we should clown him for that. And to be honest, that was some of the material that really went off. Like, I think our first half of that round is like, if I can remember, the first half of the round is really good. A lot of reaction, really concise punchlines, and then we start going into more angles. But like, I had the bit about, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's Christmas morning.
Yep. God Delusion.
You see what's gift he's bought him. It's the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. And the setup to that I quite liked. I think that got quite a good reaction, and like, yeah, the angles there I really liked. I actually liked the way we broke them down. I just don't think we executed it perfectly. And again, that's something you need prep to do. Like, the ghostwriting angle, again, I don't think that's been done before. The thing about, we're going to message the guy from an anonymous account and get him to write bars about his opponent. We're going to spit the bars to his opponent while he's standing next to him that he's written. Like, and you can see, I saw his face drop when I started saying them, because I'm seeing Shuffle and he's wearing these sunglasses, but I can see like his fucking face, like, oh, fuck. But you know what it is? The hardest part about that was, in a short space of time, translating that on camera. So to go, we've done this, but we want to reveal to the crowd what we've done. And I think the reveal bit is a bit that didn't work well.
Yeah.
But the angle itself, I would like maintain, like, that is, I think it's creative as fuck. It's one of my favorite things, like, in terms of approaching a battle that I've done. And that was like Harry's kind of idea to do that as well.
Yeah.
So I've got to give him the credit. But yeah, and he was like, yeah, let's do it this way. And like, the way it worked out was brilliant. Like, getting him to write an 8-bar.
It's dastardly. Yeah. It's pretty sneaky for you guys, to be honest. And like, I love it. It is very original. Yeah. And I think Shufflo are just ultimately in their hype form at this point, and they just sort of, they, like you say, they're not really that direct. It's not a C major cracker sort of demolition. It's just them being them, and by God, it works.
They battle the concept really well, so they go more for the poetry concept.
Sure.
And they got some funny bars. I think they had said to me I look like a bad face swap, which I can't really argue with. I probably do. And they had like, I can't remember. They had a few other good bits.
Head full of fringe.
Quite clever things.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I don't think it's a great battle from either side. It's a battle that could have happened at another time and been brilliant, but it is what it is, man. That's like, you live and you learn, and you take stuff, you take battles at the right time. And I'm someone now, I don't do that no more. Like, if I get offered a battle, no matter what league it is, what opponent, what the money is, like, it's not if I don't feel I can give a good performance and give fans what they want from it, I'm not going to do the battle. So, but yeah, it's a good experience. Like, we were supposed to battle Rob Wilson and Juan.
Yeah.
Like, months before. We'd written like a couple rounds worth of material, to be honest, and it was really good. Like, I was really happy with it. I thought it would have been really funny. But yeah, that didn't happen. I think even just doing one battle first together we had a lot of prep time for that one, would have been better. But yeah, thrown into the Lions Den straight away, facing the best 2-on-2 there's ever been.
Yeah.
And just not having the prep time. I can't really make excuses, bro. No. I wasn't in a place, like, I'll be quite honest with that. I'm happy to talk publicly about that kind of stuff. Mentally, I wasn't in the right mind frame to be battling, and that's my bad.
But looking forward, everyone was waiting for your return. You know, your one-on-one proper 3-round format return. People were thinking, is it going to be Quill? Is it going to be Gem? Is it going to be Shot? It was Seano Mac.
Yeah, man. A couple of those guys were offered me, but didn't take it at the time. For whatever reason.
I mean, big up Seano, I should say. Lovely guy. Shout out Seano. But I was, you know, I think a lot of people were just like, this is a bit of a... Didn't see this one coming.
I had to step down for you, because Shocks didn't want it. Because Manny knows what Manny knows. I would have stopped him getting that match with Soul. Tally didn't want it. Because if they brought a Tally in, he'd have been studied posthumous like Gallic Rome, and Kojay didn't want it. Because he would have lost on Derby Day, and I would have made that L Classic cold, but now I'm pissed off. But now I'm pissed off. Because this is shit that you're asking for, like a pack of smokes, and I make a hit with my last resort like Papa Roach, because people been trying to write me off. People been trying to write me off as another choke rapper. Like Heretic and Shufflo, yeah, I may have stumbled both map chops, but when I'm back on track, watch me transform those chokes into the lungs of Mo Farah, because I'm still going to win in the long run, so the stumble don't matter. I don't know. To be honest, bro, I wasn't getting offered that good stuff, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of options. The other people are getting offered for these events. I don't think Rowan was really booking me for stuff or that interested in pushing me after that. I remember after my Heretic battle, Heretic got, you know, straight away a 1-on-1 against Shuffle, and I was just like, wow, good for him, but I've not got nothing after being in the same battle. And a few others sort of from that era of like tryouts who came from the same time, getting stuff, and I was like, okay, like I think every battle I've won, like, I don't know what else you want me to do, but I want to battle better people. And I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. I've just got to battle who I get given. Like, Seano hadn't done anything for a while, had he?
No.
And but he's got stripes. He's won the JumpOff a couple of times. He's a good freestyler. He's done a lot of big battles. And I was like, I'll go to Manchester. I've not been to Manchester before, let alone battled there. So I'll go and beat someone in Manchester and then see if that makes any difference to what people are saying. But yeah, I went there and it was an alright battle. He choked every round, is what it is. It kind of takes the momentum off what you're doing when it's become so clear and like you're winning anyway. But it was good. It was a good vibe. I got to like go and chill with all the Manny lot, and you know, first time I'd properly hang out with Bobby Rex, and that's my fucking boy, and we was just fucking, you know what I mean? When you it's nice to see people you don't see that very often in London or wherever you live. So it was cool just to go there and battle and be part of the event. But yeah, the event really didn't take off either in any way. It wasn't, there weren't any great battles on that card, I don't think. So yeah, I did that battle, and
yeah, it was.
I think I had some nice bars in it, but yeah.
It was an interesting event actually, because obviously Briggsy helmed, football based, some sort of precursor perhaps to the Premier Battle sort of thing.
Yeah, and that was the kind of vibe he was going for the event. And he was supposed to battle Raptor. I think that was the main event, and that didn't happen for whatever reason. Right. They were both there. I'm not too sure what happened. That was the other thing though. It was on Derby Day. That was it.
Yeah,
it was on the day of the man. So we went to before the event, we were all just like in a local bar, just watching the Manchester City vs United game. I think Briggsy and Raptor and sort of Shotty and all those guys were sort of there, and we were just all watching. And obviously they all support different teams out of the two, and then all the guys battling. And so I think they were trying to go for this vibe of like, oh, it's a Derby Day, let's everyone wear football shirts and let's put some good battles on, and me and Raptor will battle each other in a Man City United. I think, remembering now, that was the concept of the event, but it didn't really take off.
No. But I mean, still some good bars that reference it, especially in your first. You talk of Shocks not wanted it, Tally didn't want it, Kojay didn't. You would have lost on Derby Day, would have made that L Classic, Co.
I quite like that scheme.
Crazy.
Yeah, just calling people out who had ducked me. Who I felt had ducked me, to be fair. I know ducking's a certain word, but
why is it? It's such an ugly word. Like if you accuse a battler of ducking, they get so aggressive.
It's when someone gets offered a clash from me, and then they sort of are up for taking it, but then pull out, and it's like, are you afraid to lose? Like, what's the deal here? Like, let's lock it in. So I thought I'd just start with that and be like, yo, context. I'm battling Seano. No disrespect to him. He's good, but he ain't at my level. Like, I'm done. I've been winning battles and stuff like that. I'm gonna body this guy. Before I do that, let me just tell you lot, these are the guys I could have battled. So I wanted to kind of start with that narrative.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, glad you like the bars anyway.
Yeah. The Mo Farah bar as well. I love.
Yeah.
You know, going to win in the long run, so stumble don't matter. Sean Connery, like just a lot of your sort of trademark stuff here that I think has a lot of. I mean, Seano's fine, like he is quite a nice character in the ring, and he's quite endearing, but there's no excuse for him talking when you're battling.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, it was strange, man. It was like it was
finishing your line and stuff.
Yeah, I can't even remember now, but yeah, I remember something like that happening, and it was a bit. But he wasn't really rapping in his rounds, so I felt he wanted to get some words out during mine. So it's cool, man. It was fine. I still got to say the bars, and I think one time he did it. It was pretty funny. So yeah, it was a strange battle, but you know, I did try for it. I put the work in. I wrote my ass off for it, and you know, spat 3 rounds that I thought were pretty good. So. And I wouldn't say it's the most watchable battle, or I'd say, oh yeah, everyone should watch my battle with Seano Mac, but if you have seen it, you might like it.
No. If you're a Craft E fan, watch this fucking battle. It is a good showing from you. I remember telling Lazy about one of your bars from this, the Wonderland bar in the second, where you set up that he's from Cheshire, which you sort of have to do, but it works, and you see his stripes disappear when I get rid of this Cheshire cat.
Oh yeah, I think that's nice, man. I was happy with that.
So good.
Yeah, if you're about your Alice in Wonderland shit, man,
if you're about your Charles Dodgson shit,
yeah.
And I loved Heretic got smoked on a wrong decision. Joan of Arc.
Yeah, man, the salt is real, innit?
It makes a good bars though. It's good kindling.
You know what? I wasn't like I'm a real fan of Heretic, and like I remember at the time I do think I beat him, but like I'm happy that he got some good stuff and got a push. Like he's a real character.
Yeah.
But that was more. I'd thought of this rhyme scheme, which I was really happy with. This whole Rosa Parks kind of rhyme scheme going on, and I had this Joan of Arc, and I was trying to think of stuff to do with that, because that's a really nice reference point. Like there's something with fire or something you can do with that. And yeah, I thought of that bar, and I was like, that's too good not to say. It's gonna be mad salty, but it's too good not to say, and it's kind of true. So I'm just gonna spit it.
Yeah.
And it's direct as fuck, you know. What I mean, it was such a hotly contested decision. And people every event coming up to me and just sort of talking about it, and I was like, it's on people's minds. Like I know it's a bit harsh on Heretic. He's doing his thing, and I'm months after we battled, I'm dissing him, but like
it's just bars.
So,
it's just bars.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly
like,
that. It's bars. It was a good bar that I thought I had to drop because it was a good bar. So.
And you sort of have a go at him for his bad bars in the third. Wordplay force like mandatory Scrabble. You point out.
Oh, is that the one he's
that's the one that he says, and then you know, you sort of go through Saddam Hussein sort of lens with it. You know, it looks like he started shaving and had to answer the door. Gets a big reaction.
I quite like that, man. It's really stupid, but
find you under par. That's a family tree.
Oh yeah, man. I quite like that.
Yeah,
I don't think that as well. I remember like throwing me off that I didn't get a reaction at all.
No reaction. Yeah. But
under par, that's your family tree. I forgot I'd written that. I like that.
Smooth, definitely. And it's a decent battle again. I want to, as I do always with these battles, urge people to check them out. The next battle, I remember at Rapping It Jack, you actually performed this round to me and a few other people. The battle was yet to go down. The Sceptical.
Oh right. And I was very drunk at that event.
Yeah. I remember reacting heavy actually to a few bars that we're going to touch on. But this was this is what we wanted to see really. You know, Crafty being challenged to a certain extent, entering a different environment. You know, how did this come about? You battling Sceptical on Gab?
Yeah, Snoop had hollered a while ago. Like I'd been to a couple of Gab events, just watching and just just watching the battles, and he'd come and said, "Yo, like you should come and battle in this league." He's very complimentary about it and all that. And I was like, yeah, let's lock something down. I'd be down for battling this person or this person. He was like, it's your first battle in the league. I'm not going to give you this person or this person, but which is understandable. But I said, all right, I'll battle someone and I'll see how it works. See if I like the vibe, and then if it's a good vibe, I'll battle again. So I did this battle, and I'd written for it a while ago, as I say, because that got rescheduled. So I wrote a couple new bars the next time, but otherwise I just relearned the shit I had in my head. I really like Sceptical. He's a real character. He's a real personality, and very unique. He spits a lot of bad bars, a lot of like funny puns, and it's a funny style. And yeah, it was just I I remember I remember at the time I was thinking I've really got to push myself now because these guys don't want to give me a push. If I'm real, Don't Flop, I just felt didn't want to give me a push. They weren't fucking with me for whatever reason, even though my winnings run was good and I was, popular enough that people were always demanding battles when I was on the forum. Not that I'm in any of that fucking shit anymore, but I remember always seeing my name come up and, but it's internationals coming over. Who should they battle? Top comment, Crafty, but it never happened. I never get a message saying, battle this person. So I'm never being inspired for anything. I'm never being pushed to a level I think is going to really show what I can do. But I thought I've got to start just doing things now, man. Like I want to just show that I can do this, whatever. Give me any opponent, any environment, I will beat them. And that was my motivation. So I thought I'm going to go on Gab. I remember it got announced and I see a lot of comments and things and I'm getting tweets and stuff saying like, oh, you're going to get bodied, like it's a street league, what you doing? Like, and I'm like, well, I think I'm going to do well. And so I go on it and yeah, I did a really good performance. Some of the people there were saying it's one of the best Gab performances there's been, and I was like, you know what, fucking fair. Like that's cool that people were fucking with it.
Because the script Martin writing looks different on camera. It's just bad pun after bad pun. Sounded like a typical dad plus quality. Sounds like a little kid has written your raps. You look like you've been overworked and overstressed. Hence why you're spitting this trash. You ain't had a body because you're tired like a Michelin man, and that's why you won't see this skep man climb the ladder. Because you got that. When I was younger, I had trousers, West Ham kind of swagger.
I just wrote punchlines, really. I was trying to go down what the crowd would want to hear, but still trying to keep it at a high standard. And yeah, I think especially near the start of the round, like, I just went straight in, really. And yeah, it went well, man. It went well.
You do the impression, the whole exercise stuff.
Yeah.
The audio's a little boomy at times, but it's still definitely listenable too. And
yeah, the audio on my voice is strange. Like I don't sound like that. Like it's taken from a weird camera and it's not mixed. So,
yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I should say Sceptical as well. He does have some good moments. Oh, Halifax, Lloyd, Santander. Give me another one. Someone shouts out NatWest, then he says, "I've got a lot to account for."
Right. Which is, it's classic Skeppy, man.
Works in the room.
Brilliant.
I'm black, he's ginger. Who suffered more, he asked?
Yeah, it's just some factual information really he's putting on me, saying, how dare you even battle me, because you've never been oppressed, you privileged bastard. So I think he won with that line. But now it's a very funny bar, man. Yeah. It's that kind of stuff's always like pops.
The Sceptical Drake joining BBK, that's crazy.
Oh, safe, man. Yeah, I think somebody, maybe I think I had Templar and Rivers both there, and one of them like pushed me really aggressively. That happened a few times, which I knew would happen on Gab. Bracey wasn't there actually. I was expecting Bracey to be there, and I was expecting to maybe get floored once or twice.
Right.
But luckily I stayed on my feet. Yeah, I like that bar. I can't remember the exact wording. Was it? No. I said I'm gonna take that Skeptical like Drake joining BBK. I think there was a setup that made sense, but I was really happy with that material, man. Like again, I think it's probably quite underviewed. They uploaded it onto their second channel, which again was a bit of a dick move, to be honest with you. And like I was very much assured afterwards that it wasn't anything to do with the league, and they were pissed off about it, and it was the media guy, the camera guy, who put it on the wrong channel, whatever. But there you go. I think it was a bit silly on them, because I think it's one of the better battles they've had, and not gone in main chat. It's probably got like 1,000 views, you know what I mean? It could have more like 10,000. So like, what's the point of doing that?
Yeah, it's got 880 views at the moment.
It makes no sense to put that on a channel with no subscribers. I don't think I even shared it, to be honest. I was just a bit pissed off that the audio on I felt like the audio on my round was worse as well, and not on his. It's really annoying, but it was when you prep hard for something and then that kind of happens, it's a bit of a and you've done the battle for free, you know what I mean? It is a bit of a kick in the teeth, but it's cool and it's a good battle, and I think if people wanted to watch that and it's not that long and a one rounder, I think that's decent. So the
Hillsborough line was very creative.
Yeah, it's always hard when you do those bars. You want, especially with a historical thing you're quite like passionate about, but you wanna, if you're gonna structure a bar like around something like that, you just want to make sure you're kind of kicking up and not kicking down. So rather than go, oh, you're like the fans because you want to go, no, you're like the police because you did this. So like, I think there's always a difference between if you're going to do a historical moment or something quite bad that's happened as a reference point, it's always good to be kicking up. So I was a bit like, should I say this bar? But I thought it was probably okay, because I'm just saying, look, I'm actually having a dig at the shitty policeman, like, really. I was quite happy with the bar. I can't even remember what it was, bro.
Yeah, dangerously flooding the lower tier, like Hillsborough police after they filled the seats.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I was happy with that bar. I think I had like some strong punchlines in that, man. I was just trying to go very, very punchy, to be honest. And that's kind of the route I've kind of taken, I think, since a little bit more, rather than just trying to go, you know, more technical and covert with like the wording of things, and you know, give it to the crowd sometimes. But yeah, it was a good clash, man, and it was cool to go into a different environment and, you know, battle somewhere else. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was a really fun day, that.
And the next battle we actually did a preview for that was like 40 odd minutes long. It was certainly too long. Me, you, and XQZ, the no post champ. Shout out XQZ, great guy. This was a cool matchup. This was a sort of, again, no one would have seen this coming in a more positive way.
No, I caught a lot of stick for taking it, man. Okay. I'll be real. But even on the day, I was just backstage and with some of the other rappers on the day who were just battling the next day, you know, like the Archaics and all these lot. I just remember them being like, why are you doing this? Like, they're not giving you anything. But I don't know what to say really to this stuff. I can't go to someone and go, yo, you should be giving me this battle. I don't know. It's not really my personality to do that, I guess. But maybe to as a hinders me doing that. But, you know, I thought I'll battle him. It's my first international. I think XQZ is good. Like, he's not well known, but he's not a big performer. But he's an excellent writer. He's got a real fucking pen, man. Like, some of the shit he says, if you check out like his Nestle and his Real Deal and all these battles he's done on No Coast, he's very fucking good. And I thought he's just gonna be a challenge. All I wanted at the time was a challenge. I just felt I was smoking everyone. Like, stop being fun in any way when the battles aren't close. And I still to this day don't think I've had hardly any battles that are close. This is the thing, like, it's not me going, no, I deserve a top tier. Like, I want to be challenged. Like, I want to really people want to say anything good about me and as a writer or whatever, which is cool, but I want that to be tested, and not just save bars into a vacuum, you know. So and the XQZ, I thought, but then he turned up and I think he had some good stuff, but again, he didn't seem very prepped. He was on holiday, and I think it was a bit one-sided.
Fucking XQZ. It's just a random sequence. What's it meant to mean? It's like calling yourself 10, 2, 3 or fucking It's just a random sequence. What's it meant to mean? It's like calling yourself 10, 2, 3 or fucking red, blue, green. They already know I can outright you. I'm just pissed because from the announced flyer, you're the reason I wasn't announced higher. You're the reason I'm bottom of this card because you're an outsider, whereas my name ringing bells from the announcement like a town crier. See the killers.
Shame about the girls at the front.
Yeah, I knew it. The battle before they were there, and I said to Rowan, yo, like, are they going to be there in my battle? Because, you know, the comments are going to say nothing about the battle. I think he went and had a chat to them and said, yo, you know what, like, you're going to be in every video, and like on the comments just letting you know. And they were like, they didn't seem to care. So I mean, it was interesting. I think they were kind of on my side, so there you go. I accept fans from wherever, man, and they obviously didn't understand battle rap, but they were fans of mine, I think. So I'll take it, man.
There's a wonderful coincidence. You know, maybe it's a decision choice. I don't know, design wise. On the thumbnail, so you have, you know, XQZ versus Kraft. We're in the engine room, and if you actually look at the thumbnail, the DF logo has each girl on each side. It kind of it frames them perfectly. So you really see them as a facet there. But yeah,
I rate that level of trolling, man. I rate that.
They are loud. They are obnoxious. They do fist bump. They do, you know, do odd sounds and shout gang, gang, gang. Check out episodes from long time ago, Battle Resume episodes, where I did the sort of recap of these events. I actually brought them to the venue inadvertently. I met them outside and sort of we went there together and then parted ways. But yeah, Little did I know what havoc.
People, Tom, did you find these people on the street and say, "Come and ruin Crafty's battle"? Like, you're out here pretending to be a fan of me, and then you go and do all this shit, man.
I know.
You're getting all these people saying, "Come through, I'll pay your entry." Just stand on the front row and shout random words.
Well,
I see you there, man.
One final thing before we get onto the writing. I don't know if they did this for this battle, but Don't Flop, for a lot of these battles at this event, did like a sort of 360 camera. And if you want to watch a battle, you can turn the camera around and just focus on them. It is glorious to just see, you know, how they react and ruin these things to a certain extent. And it is annoying, but here in Battle Resume, we're just having the transcriptions. And he's not bad, XQZ, but yeah, I think, like you say, he loses steam, he loses momentum, and he's kind of jarringly affable when he acknowledges the chokes and how bad it's going, and I don't know.
I mean, I feel like he was very direct with his writing, but it's almost like, considering we're from two parts of the world and don't really know each other's scenes or personalities, I felt he was very direct about me. Like, I seem to remember him doing a whole round about like depression and a whole round about like me being an egotistical person who wants more battles. I was expecting him to come and drop some funny shit about me. Right? Like, it was. I just don't think it hit. It didn't really hit. Like he did all that for his first round, and I was just like, bro, your name's shit. That was my whole round.
Yeah, lots of X stuff. I mean, I quite liked in his first, everyone online bored of this bitch craft. That's a Pinterest page.
Yeah, no, he had, like, for real, he had some cool stuff, and I liked the whole scheme. It was like, you just make battle rap look harder than it is. I thought that was really tight. And like I said, it's not his best. Like, definitely go and check out XQZ, because especially if you're like a fan of just bars and writing and, you know, intricate rhyme schemes, he's wicked. But yeah, the approach didn't seem to work, and I mean, I'd put a bit of effort into the battle. I wouldn't say I tried. I was with the XQZ scheme in the first round. I was just playing around, man, having fun when I was writing that, and it went really well in the venue. I didn't even think that would pop, but that round was one of my probably strongest rounds I've spat in Don't Flop. I think my punchlines, sort of after the joke bits, when I go more into punchlines, it kind of, the narrative of the round just worked really well, and I had quite good crowd control in that battle and stuff. So it was cool, man. It was nice, and then that's obviously the room I battled Frankie as well. So it's quite a good venue.
Yeah, name ringing bells from the announcement like a town crier.
Yeah, I really I liked a few of the punchlines I had. I really liked. I think I was what I tried to do is keep my personality and my style the same, but sort of adapt when I feel I need to adapt, and like maybe putting punchlines as a 4 bars sometimes is just a bit stronger, and I've been trying to do that a little bit more and trying to just keep it like to a tempo and a rhyme scheme that's more like to a beat, I guess, rather than just long multi-streams or long punchlines coming left, right, and center. So I feel like I was trying to do that a bit with that battle.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to mention again, Ryan Morgan is holding precious Battle Rap Resume footage hostage, including an interview we did at the backstage room. Loads of stuff with Zayn Azrai and Danny Jack and, Swave Sever and, like, you know, I don't know, he wants money for it for some reason. Battle Resume fans, please pester him and get him to release it. It's getting quite tiresome.
Don't pay Ryan Morgan, man.
I don't
know.
I'm not going to make money off them. They're just to share. They're just cool things to share, you know.
Yeah, mate. He's a bit upset that Watford aren't doing too well in the league. Someone's got to tell the Watford players to start playing better and then put Ryan in a good mood and he'll drop him, man. That's what you need to do. Okay. See how it goes.
What was the after this battle then? Was this Kid Verbal? Was this the next one?
I think that's probably right.
Okay.
Like, yeah, maybe that was. I mean, was
that the next one? Or when was Frankie? Was Frankie after?
No, Kid Verbal was before Frankie.
Kid Verbal was before Frankie.
Yeah, Kid Verbal next one. Yeah.
Just before we do though, your third for XQZ, bunch of Trump bars, bunch of Brexit bars.
Oh yeah, it was like a week after both things had happened, bro. Like I couldn't think of anything to say to him. Like. And to be fair, like that got really good. I thought I didn't think my delivery of it was great, but I thought I'd constructed it quite well. And I remember Don't Flop posting like videos about it that round, like as separate videos, and people were just saying it was quite good. So I think sometimes it can be corny. I think I did it without being corny on that occasion. I don't think I've always hit that balance right. I think it was just pretty cool at the time. I guess to discuss those sort of things, but to do it as a battle rap context and to still make it a bit punchy. So, it seems to go pretty well. So,
And then Kid Verbal. I thought finally when this got announced, finally a good matchup like for Kraft. Finally something that's really interesting on the Don't Flop platform. How did this get arranged?
That was Danny Jack. Actually, and he's always been someone who's really supported me and been a fan of what I do, and I really respect that. And when he started working on events, he kind of wanted to get me involved more, and he said, look, can you do this? It's a small room sessions event. First one we're doing, the vibe should be good. I want to put you and Kid Verbal as the main event. Would you do it? And I had enough time. I had maybe 6-7 weeks prep, and I was like, yeah, okay. Then just sort of, I rate Kid Verbal. He hadn't been around for a while, so it was his return battle. But I think he's excellent on beat. His music and his freestyles are really good, and his early battles in the Fiddlers were really good, man. He was wicked. He was like in that same era that I tried out, you know. So he was just he'd no-showed his Shocks battle, and then he hadn't battled since.
Yeah. And
I was just quite keen to battle him, really. And like I said, I rate him as a rapper, and he's got good bars and punches. So yeah, it just kind of happened like that, man.
See, Hennessy was the only opponent you edged, but not too heavily. Shit. You lost to Biz, cancelled Briggs, then saw your stock lose steadily, plus you cancelled on Shocks too? Don't think we clocked you exiting, you've been a bottle job ever since you got through Hennessy. You did 2 months of rounds and thought you'd moved up a crown. Shit, you saw Bizzle was on a bad streak and thought you'd shut him down. One win gassed your ego up and you got too fucking proud. They put you in front of a new Biz and he put you underground.
Yeah, I mean, he was Heretics tryout, had a really good battle with Bizzo. I thought Bizzo was excellent in that battle. This was his long-awaited return. This was a skate store in Hackney.
That's correct, man. Parlour skate store, I think.
Okay.
Really cool venue, nice stuff, and it was a good vibe.
Did you write the flip at the start of your first as soon as you came in, or?
I think I'd had ideas about. I think I'd tried to think of a few things about the store, but I didn't know what he was really going to say in his round. So, I think it was more during his round I thought of it. Actually, I was looking around the room and I could say that because he just said that. So yeah, maybe a bit of both, man. Bit of pre-written, bit of freestyle. I think it was only like a 2-bar though, so it probably was on the spot because that's pretty easy to do a 2-bar. Yeah.
What did you think of Kid Verbal's performance?
I thought his first round was really good. I think my first round was better than his. I think I did convincingly win the round that he spat well in. But again, it's this whole thing about people seem to choke against me. I think sometimes it's because they don't prepare. I think sometimes maybe I'm like to think I'm doing quite well and it might put him off. But I don't know. It could be anything. But he certainly had a second that had a few stumbles, and then third, I don't think he really had a third. So
no.
I think more than 50% of my opponents have not had a proper third. So maybe I'm doing something right to make them choke. I don't know. But yeah, his first round was really cool. I think I really liked your battle career, stationary. You need a new hobby craft.
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole scheme he did just showcase what a good pen he has. Like, he said, when I take opposites Baywatch, I'll put you in a body cast.
Yeah.
Like, that's really fucking tight, man. That's that's wicked. So that whole rhyme scheme was nice, and then to end on that punchline. So he had some good stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think I was a bit too much for him, man. I think I'm probably he's really good on beat, but I did feel like in the battle rap context, I was gonna do him quite easy. But I don't think it would have been if he had 3 good rounds, because his first was sick. But I remember before the battle thinking, I'm really inspired for this. I just want to have a really good battle and try and win quite easily, and that was sort of my game plan.
Yeah.
What much of a game plan is it? But I mean. And my first round, I thought, again, probably one of my first and my second in that are probably 2 of my best rounds.
First is crazy. Been a bottle job ever since you got through Hennessy. The whole Shocks idea. I Kraft, when you did this punchline, I was like, okay, he probably did psychology at A level. You talk about the Milgram test.
Yeah, I've studied psychology, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I figured, that sort of classic liberal student.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a well-known study though as well.
Sure.
In terms of Milgram, how far would somebody go if they think they're giving someone an electric shock every time they get an answer wrong? It's like this experiment. So they're doing the questions and they're in a different room and you've got this button and they put the voltage up every time, and then I think I'm thinking of the right one. And then they do it. and then how far would somebody go before they pull out. So it's like an experiment on how far can a human be if they're being coerced. And it had really like a lot of implications on things like Nazi Germany and, you know, a lot of the people who went to a certain extent but then couldn't do more things to humans, you know. And so I think it's quite well known outside of that context, but it got enough of a reaction that there's either it's well known or there are a lot of liberal students in the crowd. So who knows? Probably the latter. No one don't flop.
There's a lot of Star Wars fans, and the whole sort of Star Wars, you know, Rebel Alliance stuff is, you know, incendiary.
Oh yeah, man. I really like that bar. I think I remember it getting really like proper room shaker reaction, that one. I mean, I've not watched a lot of Star Wars, I must admit, but my friend's a big Star Wars fan. Actually, my flatmate, he's we sort of live together, so he's into Star Wars, and I messaged him being like, does this bar make sense? And he was like, I wasn't expecting it to, because you know shit about Star Wars. It makes perfect sense, so you can say it. Nice. I kind of got permission from a Star Wars fan to drop the bar, because I don't really know much about it. So yeah, no, it was I was just trying to think of stuff around Shocks and Rebel Man, and you know, trying to at the same time send a little message like, these are the bars I'm doing about you, Shocks. So
right,
if I battle you, then you're gonna get some of that work. You know what I mean? That was part of my plan as well.
Kid Verbal calls you a fassy hole for spitting 16 bars with Star Wars references. I had a rebuttal to that, and I didn't spit. I always think of rebuttals. I don't spit them because it's just you lose momentum sometimes. But he did a bar about World of Warcraft, and I was just gonna rebuttal, be like, bro, you just said like, Warcraft way more nerdy than like Star Wars. Come on, man. But there you go. It's all right. I was happy with the bar. So. Yeah. You know, you talk about his breath control and his breath just in general, the impersonations you do, the hood stuff. You know, these first 2 rounds are great. A slight misstep with the beat that you ignore in the third.
No, that's harsh, man. That's harsh on me. Someone's saying that. That's harsh, man. I ran through this scheme with a few people, and they all said it was fire before, but it's one of the things in the room. So I get into... Here's a bit of context for this event, yeah? Fucking hell. And half an hour before my battle, yeah, I'm not a weed smoker. I don't...
Right.
Just not. So that shit will affect me. And half an hour before my battle goes, they go, oh, we just heard from the venue, like, it's after hours and this and shit. So maybe you guys can smoke weed. I was like, okay, cool. So I go into this room and there's smoke everywhere. And I'm like, wow, all right, I'm going to battle with this. Okay, luckily it cleared up a bit before my battle. But I mean, Kid Verbal's, I remember thinking I've got a distinct disadvantage here, because Kid Verbal probably smokes more weed than is in this room right now collectively every day.
Right.
So I walk into this thing. I remember the atmosphere of it being a bit like smoky and a bit quiet, and I just, when that beat started, I don't know what happened. The beat started and then people got slower. And what's an interesting thing about when you ask people to do a beat together, and it's interesting when I've done this in like more workshop capacities, or I've asked people to do some freestyling or whatever when you're working with kids or whatever, there's a thing about getting people to clap together or snap fingers together, that it gets slower after about 10 seconds. It always happens. Every time, and that kind of happened, and it affected me, because I wanted to do it at a certain pace, and they did it really slowly, and then I wouldn't say I was off beat with it. Like, I knew what I was doing beforehand, but I just thought it would change it up a bit with the momentum of the battle, and it kind of backfired. But that happens, man. Again, like I say, you live and you learn, man. All you can do is get better as a battler through experience, and you know, it's something I would do again if I thought it was the right context and venue for it, but I wouldn't in a place like that, I suppose. But that was probably the only questionable bit of the battle. I thought I had 3 strong rounds, and like performance wise I was real comfy, and you can't always feel comfy on a stage because you get there and there's certain things happening, but you get into a certain place, and like I was just like, bam, I'm gonna go right at him, and I can watch that battle back comfortably and be like, yo, I'm doing well in this battle, which you can't do with every battle you watch back of your own. So
yeah, some good stuff. If it's a scale of 1 to 10, I'm the only one in 11, like 12 Angry Men.
Yeah, I like that, man. I was happy with that one. Yeah.
Cool. Good movie, right? I think every battle fan would enjoy that movie.
It's an amazing movie, man. It's one of the best films, if not the best, set in one place. Like
Yeah.
one room,
Oh, yeah.
the location doesn't move. It's all about human psychology. It's all about that aspect of things rather than big action. You know, it's just plot. It's just character development in one room. It's amazing.
Frankie Fraser was next, is that right?
Sounds about right to me.
So the four,
Did I battle on
checkpoint?
King of the Ronalds? Maybe.
Oh yeah, the lazy battle that's on the Battle Rap Resume channel. Weirdly, if you want to watch it. Let's just talk quickly about that. What I remember from the battle, you did a lot of original Tool jokes. I think you had one about him watching the football from over the stadium roof, or.
Mate, I'm really upset that battle.
Yeah.
Didn't come out. Mickey's camera got stolen, as people might know, unfortunately. I think the third round of it is on the end of another battle, maybe one of the bar title matches, because they only had one round of it. And that wasn't the best round of the battle. So yeah, the first 2 rounds, I was like, you know what? Again, I get told certain things about my style, maybe that it's this and that, and I think I can be funny when I want to be. Like, I don't always choose to be, but I thought if I'm going on King of the Ronalds, I've got to be funny. Same thing about going on Gab and doing punchlines. You gotta know your audience. I'm at this point in time just trying to go, look, I want to show versatility. I want to show that I can go into any environment in the UK, any room, any crowd, and I can win a battle. Like, as a personal challenge, it might not mean a lot for me in terms of career progression or whatever, but it at least proves a point. And I wanted to write jokes, really, and like did the tall angle, man. And I'll tell you what, the first 2 rounds I spat, man, the reactions were huge, and there was about 20 people in this room, 20, 30 people, and it was like I couldn't get my bars out sometimes because it was just making people laugh. And it's annoying that that's not online, because I would have liked people to be able to see that me doing that, because I wouldn't do that in a lot of environments. But it went really well, man. Like, I was happy with the Tool jokes I wrote, and
I'd almost want a rematch on like Code Red or something.
I don't think I'd rematch the same opponent, man.
Okay. Not so soon.
I like Lazy Ass Jack a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's getting a bit more credit now, and he wasn't at the time. And I know what it's like to feel like you're not getting credit, and I know he gets quite frustrated about it. I would say with him, maybe he stumbles in a lot of his battles, even though his punches are so good, man. Like, I was talking to my friend about him the other day. Just one of my friends who's a bit into battle rap, and we were talking about some of his bars, and yeah, he's real strong, man. And I just thought, King of the Ronalds, man, they've got a good talent pool there, and Lazy's one of the guys in that talent pool. I'd say he's done most of his battles there, and you know, it was cool to be able to go, look, he's not battled for me people who's going to test him, and I thought I could be the guy to test him or whatever. So I just kind of wanted to take it for that reason, I suppose. The fact, just rating someone, I think you just got to battle people who you rate, and I think if people did that more often, there'd be more good battles. But obviously, it's weird in battle rap, man. Things come into it. A lot of people get sucked into it. It's got to get views. It's got to do this and that, and it creates a lot of shit battles. I don't think Lazy was that prepped. I know he was prepped. I don't know. Maybe he just forgot his lines in the moment, because he had like some good stuff. But yeah, I thought it was pretty. Even if he didn't choke or stumble, I think it would have been pretty clear win. But it was a good battle still.
Well, again, check it out on the Battle Resume channel. I think I put the first round on there that actually got shot, and then you guys just submitted your rounds to me, and I sort of arranged it in a certain order. So yeah, there is a battle in some form there. If you're interested in the writers, I'm sure you should be. First thing, Frankie then, at the Checkpoint 4 pre-party.
Yeah, this was a really exciting battle, because to be honest, this has been requested for a long time.
Oh yeah,
like always Facebook comments and tweets and at an event, and people coming up and saying this battle should happen or whatever. I wanted to battle him on the main stage, to be honest. I just think it's a good battle. Like, he's had a couple of better battles since then, and again, someone who's wasn't getting maybe a lot of recognition, or he was from like the hardcore fans, but I guess outside of that, or from the staff or whoever. And I was like, this is a good battle. This is, for me, some people might disagree, but I think it's a top tier battle. Like, if you're talking about writers going at it, just throwing their pens at each other, that made no sense, but I said it. It's a challenge for both, and I thought this is going to be a sick battle. This should be main stage. Like, so I said to them, like, I'll do this battle, but like, I think you lot should just push it, man. But then they said, look, we'll put you main event on the first day, the pre-party. I said, all right, I'll do that. Like, because it was the right timing for me to be battling. I knew I might not be in a few months. So
Sure.
I wanted to do that one. And yeah, it was the best Frankie Fraser performance I think there's been to date, to be honest. So yeah, really cool that it managed to inspire that out of him. I know he really wanted to battle me, and I was keen as well. And yeah, I think it was just a very good 6 rounds, to be honest, man. I think that's one of the battles you can look at of mine that was close. I don't think that happens a lot. And that's not me being massively arrogant. It's just people do seem to stumble and whatever, or my opponents, I'm not battled a certain caliber of opponents, you know, that are going to be that challenge. And he was. So he had some great lines, man. But yeah, it was a good clash.
Definitely. I haven't actually seen it, unfortunately, just because it's not on YouTube, is it?
You've not watched me vs Frankie?
I've not seen you. I think, didn't someone upload it on Facebook?
I uploaded it on my Facebook page.
Did you? Okay, well, I'll watch it. Okay.
It went months without Don't Flop doing anything. I messaged them and be like, yo, I'm going to upload this battle. Is that cool? I messaged and Kruger. They both said it was fine. So I just uploaded it.
Fair enough.
Just because I wanted people to see it. It's never going to come out otherwise.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you've not seen that battle then.
Not seen it. I've not got any notes on it, unfortunately. No.
So not a lot to talk about on that one.
I need to. Not too much. It sounds great. You know,
I can give you a rundown of it if you want.
I remember the transformation line that you sent me was great.
Oh yeah, man. So the first round I basically won. Second round I won, and third round no, I'm joking. It was a good battle, man. Yeah. It was good. He was good. Personally, I think I've got the first 2 rounds like very clearly, and then the third round he won, I'd say. And in the room it felt closer, but when I watched it back on camera, I thought it was. I think my stuff was just a lot more direct. I think Frankie's an amazing writer, and sometimes I think he just says stuff he wants to say, which is cool. So I think I had more direct and more stuff about him, and I think that kind of just came across on cam. But yeah, the crowd was very much on his side, though. I felt like it was a bit of a biased crowd, but maybe that's because it really brings in the hardcore forum thing, and I'm not really in that, so he's really popular. So I do think he got a bit of the gas in the room, maybe for some lines that I thought weren't great, but he also spat some amazing lines. He said to me something about, I can't remember the bar, something about Loki and Akala. That was really funny. It was a really good breakdown of me. That's probably one of the better things someone said to me. So that was a good clash. I mean, maybe Don't Flop will drop it at some point, but yeah, I've got a Facebook page that I'm relatively active on, which is just Crafty, like exactly how it's spelled on the battles. If you tap into Facebook, click on the video section, the battle's there. So yeah, me versus Frankie. Sweet. You can watch that one.
Sweet. Next battled Evil on JumpOff, which from the
does this count?
Yo, fuck Evil. I've never seen a body frame that looks so feeble. All that injecting of needles must have messed your cerebral, because now with that neck you look like a cross between a weasel and Schmeagol. Fam, you look like exactly like Gollum if the guy's taller, with the same skin complexion as a glass of lime water. Fam, I can't tell if he's wearing the mask of Guy Fawkes or Nightcrawler, because he looks like the fucking bride corpse with the eyeballs of a White Walker.
From the thumbnail, Evil is vomiting. We had him on the show afterwards. He gave his little tap. This is a crazy turn of events.
This is ridiculous, mate. Like the whole thing, like just JumpOff, being like, yeah, we're bringing back the JumpOff and the Scala. It's been years. Do you want to battle? Well, yeah, okay, I'll come and battle. You're battling Evil. Okay, I'll battle Evil. Right, 2 1-minute rounds. And then I got there and I watched the first battle and I was like, my stuff's way too fucking intricate for this crowd. So I ended up making some new bars anyway. It went pretty well. Like, it was just simplistic shit. But yeah, I'll give you the lowdown on the event then, because it was like you say, it's a ton of events. It was pretty crazy. I don't know if anything like that's happened in a battle before. And so I get to the venue and they're all sort of there. I get there about 8 maybe, and the battles are scheduled to start at 9:30, and the battle started at about 11:45.
Right.
I was so tired, it was unbelievable. And I was just drinking and stuff as well, and so I was just getting a bit. So I think by the time I got on stage in my second round, halfway through, I slipped up a bit. I kind of had a bit of a stumble. But yeah, the atmosphere was stupid. Like, I was just at backstage, like trying to write some bars and memorize some bars, and then the crowd was filling up, and it was a massive crowd, and there was like a big dance off. It was a twerking battle, all this shit, the JumpOff. And then the battles seem to be the thing people were really excited for. So they bring us out like gladiators, like, you know, the style. It's like some super like combat MC thing. I don't know, it's like some 1980s shit. But it's great, it's funny. And yeah, get brought out with Evil and do the first round. I think I'll probably take the first round. He's spitting a lot of... He's very good. He's perfect for the jump off. He's just funny multis, very basic punchlines, and people were loving it. And then he vomits after his round. That's what happens. He fucking vomited on the side of the stage. Everyone's like, what the fuck? Just don't know what's going on. I don't know. Is the battle going to be cancelled? I'm starting to think, okay, this is not going to happen.
You sort of investigate him, but it's...
Yeah, I did. I was checking him, you know. It's a level outside of battle rap at that point. You know? Like, you know, I want to check the guy's okay.
Yeah.
He's vomiting, and I think he's mixed a lot of his alcohol, you know. I think he's been mixing everything with, you know, shots and all these types, and he's been smoking weed, and so I think he's just gone a bit too much, you know. He's a skinny boy as well, and Evil, so, you know, he's probably taken a bit too much for his body there. But he's vomiting it all out. And so I just do what any battle rapper would do. I flip the fact that he vomited.
Yeah.
I don't think I did it that well, but I probably...
Yeah, you sort of incorporated...
I got some reactions and from flipping it, and I probably should have said, you shouldn't have eaten mum's spaghetti or something.
Yeah.
That probably would have been quite good. And there are a few things I probably could have said, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And then I did my round, and but the whole thing's thrown me off, I can't lie.
Yeah.
And I've spat a bar, and I've kind of got not a reaction from it, and I had more stuff I wanted to say, but I couldn't get back to where I was in my head.
That was the kill on stage bar, Yeah,
and it's kind of very basic.
Yeah, it surprised me you were like, no reaction to that. I was like, no reaction to that.
Yeah, because it's like...
Serious Jones did it versus Respect BA.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like... It's the jump off, and I was like, I have to dumb this down. I think I'd written that bar backstage, actually.
Sure.
So I'm spitting these, and then I've got more I wanted to say, to be honest, but it was 20 seconds left on the clock, and I was just handing back the mic because it was just getting a bit... There's some one person booed. I was like, no, I'm giving the mic back. I'm not fucking getting booed. Fuck that. Because I know what jump off's like. And he literally says, like, I'm so sick or something, and it just gets a reaction. I knew at that point I'm going to lose because he's going to come out after vomiting. The crowd are going to love it. So then he spits his round, and it's all right, but he probably wins. And then he vomits again. He probably even more this time. And then the paramedic comes out, and he's like waving off the fight like it's Mayweather McGregor. Like he's got his hands in the air, like waving it off, and he's got some medical equipment. I'm like, bro, the guy's vomiting. He's not having a heart attack. And Evil goes backstage, and people wanted back. Like 2 more battles happen afterwards, and I can't lie. iKid and Seano Mac and these guys, they spit about a bar and they started getting booed, right? Everybody wants to see Evil. People are chanting for Evil, but I've never seen anything like it in my life. Everyone's chanting for Evil, and they all want him back. And I literally go backstage, and he's in the toilet, and I shout in, I go, "You're Evil. You got a battle, man. They want to see you. Get the fuck out here." And he's like, "Oh, be there in a minute, fam." Or whatever. Can't do his accent.
Right.
And he comes out in a change of clothes, and he walks out, and then the crowd just goes mad when he walks out. It's incredible. It was like a film.
Yeah.
It could have, if you recorded that and put it out as a movie, it would have done well. And
incredible.
He comes out like all this fucking hype that he's got. He's sort of back, and then he just gets on stage and they say, "Right, you're better than iKid in the final," because apparently it was a tournament. I didn't even fucking know this. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's the other thing. The thing wasn't voted for me and him. So like, right. I mean, I stumbled, so I probably lost anyway. But they were just like the crowd just like chanting Evil, and they were like, "Well, Evil won because the crowd likes Evil more."
Right.
I think there were a few judges like Tony and that, but I don't think they actually went to the judges for that one. But it was quite funny. And he battles. I think the first bar he says to iKid is like, "You look like a second-hand Method Man," and the crowd just lose their shit like straight away. And he does a couple like really questionable race bars, but they seem to go quite well. And yeah, he just smashed it. It was just a really stupid event, man. But it was nice to do the jump off. Like it's definitely on my bucket list, you know, battle rap wise. So
yeah,
it was a cool experience, and they've asked me back to do a couple of things since, and I don't think I'm gonna. I might. It just depends where I'm at, really. But it was a good experience. You know what I mean?
And we get to the most notorious battle on this list, a battle that is sort of legendary in infamy. I think only when Briggsy versus Soliloquy is released will it be dethroned as the cringiest thing on the web.
Okay.
You versus Raptor.
Yo, you got your soul taken. Any fan who called you champ, those dreams, they sell you a peak. Shit was a ladder match. Because you going for the belt was a reach. You could have never survived this pen. Plus it was Briggsy who got you the title shot. As soon as you entered the Lions Den, you died getting a shot of your best friend like Lenny and Mice and Men. Yo.
Poetry.
I didn't no idea what you were gonna say there. Like this is not a legendary battle in any way. But apparently it's had quite a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole fucking thing's fucked. I don't really know where to start with it. Like you can ask something.
How did the battle begin? Because I know someone paid for it. We don't necessarily need to name them, but you know. It's very...
this is the bullshit thing. All right, let's get this clear straight away. So Raptor said in the battle that I paid for this battle, and then some people have been saying like on my Twitter and online. I mean, I've left all these fucking forums, right? I don't know what's going on, but people are saying in these forums that I paid, and like this guy basically fans pay for battles a lot, right? This is something people don't know, but it's not like hidden fact. It's just something unexplored. You look at the business model of Don't Flop events. Sometimes the card that's there versus the ticket sales and the venue. There's a missing link there. Fans pay for battles, right? More so they pay for flights and battles actually. So a lot of internationals over the years have been paid their flights by people who are supporting the scene. It's a lot bigger in King of the Dot. I think they've got like sponsors and people who give the battles. Because if you look at the business models of the amount of people in the crowd, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, so very, very humbled by someone saying, look, you're one of my favorite battlers and you've not been given the right battles. Like, I just want to get you one battle. And they message me. I go, you know what? Fucking wicked. Like, who do you think I should battle? And they gave me this list. And to be honest, Raptor's not top of the list, but he's one of the people.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people who are unavailable on that date. And to be honest, with the Don't Flop thing, with Chalked Out starting out Code Red, I think I would have got these battles anyway because of the people running the leagues fuck with me. But yeah, we do that battle. So yeah, Raptor's sort of just been paid for the battle. And he was really keen on it. He was really like, I mean, Raptor's always been someone who supported me. We've chatted a bit, you know, on online and at events, and you know, we talk and we're cool. And he really wanted to battle, and he was like, "This is gonna be my comeback battle. This is gonna be my." He's really gassing me up, man. He's like, "This is gonna be one of the best battles that I've done. Like, it's gonna be better than my Tony shit." And I'm like, "Bro, let's do it. I'm gonna get right in and let's do this. Let's make it happen." So yeah, I mean, the whole situation didn't surprise me. Like, I know he's been known to say that kind of shit before, and then he turns up, but. It was sad. His performance was really sad. It's sad as a fan of him to watch him do that to himself. Bit embarrassing, but I can accept someone not like some people can do what they want with their rounds. That's not for me to say. I can only go and split my rounds and win convincingly, like in that battle. But the shit he said about the money, that was really upsetting because that's on a real life level. Like. He knew the deal. He knows the guy. I think they're cool, you know? There's no need to make up a lie like that. And to be honest, I would go more hard on Raptor right now, but he's been in my inbox recently and kind of cleared it up and apologized a bit, so I'm not going to. He's accepted the fact that he shouldn't be making up lies about me. But, like, it is what it is. And, like, to be honest, I really see where he's coming from because... his stance on battle rap is very much like it's about promo, it's about banter, it's about hyping everything up. So he's saying I'm saying all this shit so it hypes up the battle so it gets views. And I'm like, I personally don't think you need to say that to get views, but I know where you're coming from. But can you just not go on Twitter and say that people like me are ruining the culture by paying for battles? Because it's not true. That didn't happen. And to be honest with you, the stuff's bullshit. Anyone who disagrees with it, like, I know where you're coming from. Oh, people should put in work for battles. Look at my resume, bro. This is what I'm on this show for. Look at my fucking resume. But, like, this is not me being a dickhead, not me being arrogant. It's me saying, just watch my battles. Watch how many battles I've won. Watch me go on 5 different leagues and beat people. Who's done that in the past 2 years? Who's done that? Like, I've put in work. I've beat people. I've proven myself. I'm at the point now. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is the first time in my time battling where the cards are in my hands. Now I can battle people because I've beaten top tier people. I've beaten Raptor. You know what I mean? People coming at me now offering me stuff, and I'm not taking battles at the moment. Like, I'm taking some time off, but I feel like you need that push sometimes. And I can't tell you how many people. I'm not going to name drop because A, it doesn't matter, and B, there's no fucking point in doing that bullshit stuff. But there's so many people who have had their battles paid for them by fans recently. Yeah. I can name a few international flights that have been paid for. It's normal. And if I'm being quite honest, I think it's more of a credit to someone to have a fan pay for a battle than a promoter pay for a battle, because a promoter paying for a battle is thinking about views, they're thinking about income. They might not rate the guy they're booking. They're paying. So if someone comes to me as someone who's got no financial investment and return in it, saying, yo, let's get you a battle, to me, that means more. I'll be real about that. And if it's evil paying for O'Shea, I get it. I fucking get it. The guy paying for the battle himself, someone paying for an opponent that's way out of their tier, I fully get the frustration. Me getting paid for a battle that I probably could have got anyway by someone who cared about the battle happening, and me going on to beat that battler convincingly, where's your problem? And you know what it is? People are going to hate either way. Like, it's fine. There's going to be people, and this is something you got to accept as a battler, and it took me a while to understand this. There are people who will never like Crafty. There are people who will never fuck with what Crafty does, and they're gonna see any battle, any performance, any opportunity to discredit what's happened. And for me, that's an example of it. Like, I go into that ring against Raptor, and man, I spit some good shit. Like, the bars I spit in that battle, the momentum died before the battle started because Raptor wouldn't turn up for like an hour when it was supposed to be there. He was off doing whatever. The crowd's momentum was dead anyway. Like, and during the battle, he's talking through all my rounds. It's dead. The vibe is dead. In a different environment, my bars, I feel, would have done more, had more impact. But I've gone into that environment and I've done what I set out to do. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do really in that situation. I battled Raptor. People were saying, oh, Crafty needs to prove himself against a good opponent. Raptor's a fan favorite. I've gone there. I've done my thing. And you know, what more can you say? People are going to hate, but... And there's people, bro, this is the extremes that, you know, some people will never fuck with me. There's people who think Raptor won that battle.
There's quite a lot of people, yeah. Yeah,
I'd say there's a good 10% of the YouTube comments who think Raptor won. And I've heard more on the forums, because obviously the forums... Well, some of the people in there are just like... They're not really rap fans anyway. They're just part of a cult, and they want to just be controversial and be rude to people, whatever, and think they're battlers. So it's a weird environment, to be honest. But people who think that, man, people who think I lost a Raptor, or people who think that I was battled, they're never, ever, 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 ever going to fuck with me. So there comes to a point where you've got to go as a battler. Look, just ignore what people say, because you go into the ring, you do your thing. There's going to be people who like it. There's going to be people who don't like it. There's going to be people who didn't like it, who start to like your stuff more. There's going to be people who liked you, who then start to like your stuff less as you go on. And there's going to be people who never change their mind, no matter what. For good or better, there's going to be fans of Charlie Clips who will never say Charlie Clips lost, even when he's shit. And there's going to be people who hate Crafty, who say he never wins, even when he does clearly. You know what I mean? It's just how some fans are and how some aren't. So I see that whole situation with Raptor saying that stuff. He can do what he wants in a battle. It's his choice. He can approach the battle how he wants to. But then there's levels of stuff outside battle rap that if you're going to make up things, just dead it. But to be fair, like I said, I would have gone on harder. I would have been more disrespectful, but I'm not going to, because he's reached out to me on a personal level, inbox level, like, and that means more to me than someone publicly saying something, because publicly you can say anything. But like, I'm a big fan of Raptor. His Real Deal performance was like alright. It wasn't great, but he came back and I thought did quite well. And yeah, he's someone I want to support. So I'm not really going to trash on him, but like, I think it was a bit of a dick move, to be honest. But like, you know, is what it is. And I just went and I did what I could do and showed what I can do. And yeah, my next battle is going to be, whenever that happens, will be even better. So yeah, that's all you can do.
Ginger Virgin Poetry?
Yeah, I think like it was quite interesting angle. I think it was funny like the first 3 times he said it, and then you just see the things. I watched that battle back with a couple friends, and we're just looking at the crowd reactions, like the crowd members. They're so angry. Like some of them are angry, and some of them are like really bored. And and then you got a few that are laughing, but hardly any. And it's I think what happened, and this is what someone close to Raptors told me, so maybe it's true, but he'd written 3 rounds for me and like really tried. Some of the stuff he got out was really good, man. Like some of the little bits he got out when he was rapping were quite funny and good. But I think he went on a bender like 3 days before, hadn't slept, and then knew he wasn't going to be able to prep for the battle. So kind of thought, right, I'm just going to say words that don't rhyme, and I'm going to talk through his rounds, and I'm going to throw him off because there's nothing I can do at this point. Like, that's generally how I see it. I don't think he had the intention to come that bad, but it's just the way it worked out from the decisions he made outside of the battle, I guess, in the build-up to it. And so that ginger version poetry thing, like, yeah, it was, like, it's not something unheard of to kind of try and use a catchphrase or do something the same, but it got to a point where he was not rhyming at all or had any flow at all, and it ceases to be a rap battle at that point. You're not actually engaging with the art form at all. And like when you've done a 5-minute round and you've rhymed about 2 words, and the staff are in there just with their heads in their hands, like, and they've not called time, I don't know what they did in the 3rd round, it just gets long, and it's like a half-hour battle that should be 15 minutes. So it sucks that it's not that watchable. It sucks he was really shit, but he's a good battler, and you know, he'll probably come back at some point and be quite good. So yeah, man, it's just, I'm quite happy with how I did, but I would have liked it to be a better vibe for the battle.
Yeah, you go in on him sort of spending the rounds telling people why they're better than them, you know, rather than showing it, and lots of stuff. Who goes into title matches sniffing rocks with a 5th of vodka? Sweep him underneath the rug, he's overstayed his welcome on. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with what I wrote, I think, man. Like, so if people listen to the bars and they liked it, then that's cool. I probably could have performed it a bit better, but like I say, it was a whole atmosphere thing. Like, I was prepped. I'd prepped well. I'd learned the bars, so and I've been offered some cool stuff off the back of the performance. So me personally, I'm pretty chill about it. But like I say, if people do think that he won, then that's you, bro. Do your thing, man. Live your life. I'm not going to hate back.
I think it is going to be a cult battle. It's definitely a cult performance by Raptor, and I think everyone needs to see it. But yeah, it's just a shame, because if he just came like the incredible quality that he can conjure, this would have been such a good battle. So it's just a bit of a letdown, really, and especially because money's being paid for it, and goodwill's towards it as a whole. So it's like, for it to be soured like that is a little disappointing.
I think so. And it's interesting that people will support somebody when they do like a really bad performance and try and manipulate the narrative of it. Because like, you're supposed to be their fan. Like, you're supposed to be their boy. Like, are you not going to tell them that they're fucking up and try and make them do better? Or because he turned up to Premier Battles and apparently choked as well. And I'm just like,
yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh man, like if you're not supporting the guy, just let him know, man, what's up. Like, but it's cool, man. That's, like I say, that's you. And Briggsy's my fucking guy as well. He's a real cool dude. Well, in that occasion, I think he wrote a comment on the forum or something, kind of about Raptor was really good, and I'm just like, come on, man. Just be real with people. This is what I mean about people in the battle rap world. Sometimes it's just, you can see why so many people leave it, because there's so much political stuff going on, and it's incredible sometimes. But like, I can't be too like sour about how it went, because I think I spat some good rounds and proved that I can beat a top tier guy. So just gonna whenever I come back, I'll ride with that, man.
And Press 1's the last battle.
This is what it looked like if Keanu Reeves and Bill and Ted went from cigarettes to crystal meth. Yo. When I walked in the building, they were like, it's Crafty from Don't Flop. You all recognized him. He's a guy giving out blowjobs and smokes rocks in Stokes Croft. Time.
This is in Bristol.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Sloth's plug tour?
Yeah, this is a terrible battle, bro. I I was like, because I'm back in Bristol now, so I've been hanging out with sort of Press more as well because he lives it, and we were chatting about it the other day. It's like this shit. Right. So basically, that was the day after Raptor. So I'd stayed overnight in London, and then I got the train up to Bristol like afternoon, and I'd landed there like 6, and then went to the venue, and I wrote my bars pretty much on the train. Like I had an idea of what I was going to say in a couple of bits, but I felt a bit bad actually because I was on a train with my friends and I wasn't even talking to them. I was just writing bars, so you know, it's one of them ones. But yeah, I think like I wrote what I could. To be honest, again, it's like sometimes the timing's not good, but you know, it's an opponent you like, and the money's right, and you know, you other things can come into it. I think as long as you put a good performance, like I think we both had a good performance, and the crowd quite liked it. But I wouldn't say it's a classic battle by any stretch of the imagination.
Press does his thing. I think.
I was trying to write stuff that would really annoy him. I was trying to really basic bars.
Jafar and the magic lamp.
Yeah, I'll ask that again. Like, you know what I mean? I think I worded it quite well, but it's quite an obvious like thing to say to Press. But I knew he'd get annoyed at that, so I'm quite good friends with him, so I think it's a weird battle to do against someone you quite like. But it's as well for him, I think even he's making a lot of music and that sort of making that Charlie Sloth link. And the format was cool, and I did a verse from a track, and he did a verse from a track. And I've even some of the people from the event, running the event, have like, you know, hit me up and been like, can you send us your music and shit? And like, it's trying to push because they like quite liked what I performed. And so there's often a few things that come out of a battle, man, as well as just like the battle itself. So it was a cool event to do, and I've been following Charlie Sloth for a long time, man, watching Fire in the Booths and that. So to get to open his event was pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, it wasn't a great battle, but like I say, it's about 1 hour's prep on the train. Surprised I didn't choke, to be honest. A few nice rebuttals and shit. I can't remember now. I think there were, but like, you know, it's a bit of fun at the end of the day. So
yeah, and it's a fun format, as you say. The third round, you each perform a little minute snippet of a track of yours to a beat.
Yeah,
and then the winner gets to perform the whole track in front of the crowd. Yeah, which is nice. You mentioned a line in your second, which I didn't really get. Maybe I'm just mishearing it. Cyclist in Bristol, love going down on white ladies.
Yeah, that's fire if you live in Bristol, man.
Right. What is that?
Yeah, it's a road in Bristol that's like a massive hill. But it's a big hill, and because that's the name of the hill, like it's like going down on it. And it's like, and it's just like his missus is white. It's like, and he's not. It's a stupid line. It's lazy. It brings race into the equation for no reason. But like I say, it's last minute prep on the train. So you know, you say some shit. But that's how battling goes. But like for me, it's about getting there, doing the battle, putting a good performance in, not choking, being professional, and I did that. So like I was quite happy with it, considering all my focus was on Raptor. But probably if I could change that, I'd probably put all the focus into that battle instead of the Raptor one, knowing that I could have probably prepped an hour for Raptor and won. So maybe. Yeah.
What's the next battle in 2018? Do you have one? How many times are you going to battle in 2018?
So at the moment, I've got no immediate plans to battle. I'm writing some more spoken word stuff. I'm doing a lot in terms of my studies. Like I'm doing a full-time master's at the moment. Again, very spoken word based, but like writing across borders. So I'm be doing some traveling and some writing, and writing like an hour-long show with it. Which again is more like theatre, spoken word. And trying to get some of this music stuff written, and I've just moved city again, like, so it's been a bit mad actually. So I've got a couple battles locked in, very interesting event sort of thing. Sorry, not locked in, that's why I said locked in. Yeah. A couple battles that might possibly happen. I did pull out of the villain battle, even though I pulled out about 6 weeks before, because I told him I'm not in a mind frame to be battling, and like I said for the Shuffle thing, Shufflo and Marlo, like I promised myself, like at that point, if I'm ever not feeling it 100%, I'm not going to do the battle. And that was more like busyness, you know, rather than like anything sort of deeper. So yeah, I didn't do that. That one might happen at some point, but again, don't think it needs to happen, maybe, as much as me and Shocks probably will. So that's I think the Shocks one's pretty much gonna happen. That was supposed to happen at 0-2 and didn't. So and he ends up battling Gemini at that one. So that's something I'm interested in, and I'd love to battle an international man. Like, I'd want to battle Chilla Jones or someone, and maybe those are the ideas. But apart from that, man, I don't really have plans to, it's stuff that inspires you and you want to do. Like, I'm not trying to fucking out here trying to be the man. I'm not here trying to be the champion of anything. Like, I've put in the work and battle rap and done a lot of clashes and beat a lot of people, and I had never had a long-term plan for battle rap. I just kind of did it, and the feedback I got was better than I thought it was, and just so I kept doing it. But yeah, hopefully it'll be something I keep doing, but it's hard to tell, man, to be honest. I don't know if there's any battles people want to see or want to shout me and let me know. But
I mentioned it on our first recording. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but I do want to see you versus Soul. I would like to
Soul's
see that.
Soul's arguably my favourite,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think he's most people's favourites.
I think I'd probably lose, but I'm quite competitive, so
yeah, what a battle! I'd just like to see you push. you know, Soul's gonna bring something for you, like.
Yeah, I'd like to battle Soul, man. I'd like to battle some of these guys who are really up there, I'll just see how it goes, man. Like I'm happy to sit back for a bit now. Like, everything's taking shape, and I just want to support everything and show love. Like, Cold Red are doing their thing, like Premier Battles doing their thing, chalked out, and this thing's coming out, and I don't know what will happen with Don't Flop, but who knows. But just let things kind of take shape. Like, they're all doing their thing and putting exciting cards together. And I was just saying, like, I was trying to press the other day, and it's just like the battling things kind of, the love of it's just died, man. Like, I don't love it anymore. Like, he was saying the same, and like, some people have said it. Like, I watch less battles now than I did at one point, and I'm less interested in the culture of it, and it's stuff like the Raptor thing, and then what certain people will say after the battle. It's just so frustrating. You've got to sit back sometimes and go, who's my audience here? Who's my fan base? What are the fans wanting to see? And I just think that's got to be grown again. Like, it's got to start from scratch. Like, a different audience needs to be targeted. It's just sort of the same people kind of going to events, and you just want to build on that a bit. And that it's shame to, we were chatting the other day and just saying, like, man, battlers used to be like these unknown figures, like these minor celebrities. It's like you don't know anything about them, and they turn up on a day, and it's like these street legends, people who come up and clash each other, and then they disappear into the night, and then you see them at the next event. And this whole Facebook stuff and the forums, like, everyone in the same place, all the bloody people in the forums are battlers anyway. Like, a lot of the fans, like, it went through a stage in Don't Flop as well. All their tryout events were just people from the forum, and none of them had any rap credentials or anything, and the quality shot down. And I feel like everyone got put into this same place on the internet, and it did something, man. It really killed it for me. It took a while to reflect on that and realize that kind of happened, but like, I saw the footage of the Premier Battle event happening the other day. It just looked brilliant. Yeah. It looked like it had that vibe where the battlers were like a big deal, man. Like, they were like, it sounds weird because we're all just, anyone who raps or does anything, whatever you do, we're all just people. We're all just humans, we're all just people living our lives. But you get into this certain context, and then you're like, sort of, the people battling are sort of someone else, and not in a hierarchical way. They're just like a different person. They're like this entity, this battler, and it's just quite cool. You still see that in other leagues around the world, and I feel like when I used to watch Don't Flop, I was like, these lot aren't real people. Like, you wouldn't just walk into Pamphlet in the street. Like, he's just this sort of mythical guy who gets up in this camp voice and spits multis at people, and it's amazing. And like this, like, he's a character, you know what I mean? And like this personality, like, I think he's a really good example of someone who's just a personality. And I think, like, there's not loads of personality in battle rap anymore. There's not a lot of individuality. Like, everyone sounds the same. Everyone's trying to do the same thing and spitting about the same things. And I think it is almost this like small circuit scene of everyone's in the same place. And I don't know, something just doesn't click for me, man. Like, and the way the fans talk to people and talk them down and insult them, and it's like the whole thing about, you know, you won't fucking slide tackle fucking Harry Kane on the street if you saw him. You wouldn't punch Anthony Joshua in the face. Like, it's just this whole strange way that people act and feel like they can really insult people. And there's just battlers in these forums that are just like trying to promote their work, and they have to put up with all this bullshit. And I think that needs to just stop happening. Like, the forums and that need to people need to realize, just show up on the day and battle and promote in a healthy way with videos and funny shit and interviews and podcasts like this. And I just think a lot needs to change, man. Like, we really think about, especially people want this thing to go big and want to be caking off it and want to be making a living off it. You got to market it differently than it's being marketed at the moment. And people are trying to do cool stuff with it, man. Like, I really fuck with what people are doing right now and trying to go in a different direction. And like, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy to sit back. Like, I'm still a fan of this shit. I think the love of it could come back, but it's just a bit lost at the moment. And I just want to see everyone do well. Like, these guys, like, we battle each other and we hate each other in the battle, but these are like your colleagues, your peers, your friends, you know. I want everyone to do well. These guys are fucking talented. I want them to be popping off. I want them to make a living off what they do, because they're some of the best writers in the world. Yet, you need to, like, this is the thing about, stop caring about what 5 people think about you on a forum and making all your decisions about that and revolve around that. Whether that's how you speak to someone or treat somebody on a level outside of battle rap, or how you promote something, or how you act and turn up on a day. And that sounds like I'm being direct about Raptor, actually, when I've said that, but I'm actually not. I think he's really cool and he's a nice guy. And again, he's a fantastic musician, and he's somebody who, with the right marketing and the right stuff going on, could be a big name in this country and make a lot of money off what he does, because he's got the talent. So I'm just interested to see where it all goes now, man. Yeah. And, you know, how this scene can build. And yeah, there's exciting things going on, and I think I'm going to be involved in some capacity. And I actually can't say too much, but there might be something in the works of a cool event. So, okay. But yeah, a couple of ideas where I'm going to battle in that. But yeah, I'm always showing love for it, man, and like engaged in it and involved. But like I say, it's just, I don't know what the situation is in battle rap at the moment.
And how do people get at you, finally? Your Twitter, your music?
So Twitter is craft_D, CRAFT_D. And Facebook's just crafty, craft-D. If you want to look me up on YouTube, I've got some rap on there. I've got some poetry on there, like different things aside from battles. And yeah, just trying to do a bit of everything, man, at the moment. I'm just trying to... It's when you're settling into a new city again, and you know, it takes a while sometimes. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, definitely hit me up if you want to chat about anything, battle rap or not battle rap. Like, I'm about on social media, but I'm not really going to be in any forums. Sure. See last 15 minutes of podcast for context on why.
Well, this has been, you know, instructional, informative, enriching. You know, it's been great to have you on Craft. I want everyone just to, you know, follow all the links, put them all in the description as well. Please follow at battlerapresume, battlerapresume@gmail.com, get in touch, Patreon, iTunes, all that sort of stuff. But Craft, finally, this has been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Bob. Big up every time.